Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Science here. We're going to talk about what we discussed Monday, and you did some research on producers and consumers. Okay, so follow along in your Google slide, and then we'll do some sorting activities after this. Living things can be either a producer or a consumer. A producer is an organism that has the ability to create its own food. Most producers are plants. I always remember producer begins with a P, plant begins with the letter P. So plants are producers. They make their own food. And how do plants make their own food? Is through this process called photosynthesis. It all begins with the letter P. Plants are producers because they make their own food through a process called photosynthesis. A plant uses energy from the sun, carbon dioxide from the air, and water to make its own food. A consumer is an organism that cannot make their own food and must find it instead. Most animals fall into this group of being a consumer. They either find plants to eat, remember those are herbivores, or maybe they hunt other animals, which would be a carnivore if they eat only other animals, and an omnivore is a mixture of an animal that eats plants and animals. So please go to this slide, which am I, and be out of present mode. Okay, we're going to do some practice together. You have a bird, a flower, grass, a cow, a tree, and a frog. We right now are not saying is it an herbivore, carnivore, omnivore. We're just trying to figure out if it's a producer or a consumer. So out of present mode, okay, let's do this together and start with bird. So you're going to drag producer or you're going to drag consumer next to bird. Do you think a bird makes their own food or eats other animals? All right, I'm writing a C. Drag consumer over there. A bird is a consumer. All right, flower. A flower. It's green. That's a huge indication if it's a producer or consumer. Is it a plant? Does it make its own food? And out of present mode, if you drag producer, sorry, I'm not right-handed here. It is a producer. It makes its own food through photosynthesis. How about grass? Producer or a consumer? So you are dragging. It is a producer. Again, green is an indication that it is a producer. So it makes its own food through photosynthesis. How about a cow? Does it make its own food or does it eat other organisms? And a cow is a consumer. Cow is actually an herbivore, so it eats only plants, but it still makes it a producer, okay? And a tree, producer or a consumer? It is P for producer. And a frog. It's green, but just because it's green doesn't mean it makes its own food. Does it make its own food through photosynthesis or does it consume other organisms? Drag, it is a consumer over there. It is a consumer. Okay, so we'll stop right there and continue on learning about producers, consumers, and kind of expand our knowledge and go into herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Keep up the good